Hi, everybody. Thanks again for watching another episode of Economics, where I focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money. And all those three things, I want them and they need to be congruent in order for you to increase the chances of you living a fruitful, prosperous, and purposeful life. Now, I want to talk to you today about, I get excited. I write all these things down, these different ideas, and I'm going to keep this quick because I can talk forever if I don't. About life being a long shot. And sometimes I talk to people reach out to me, Twitter, Facebook, email, and they'll just say something, well, I have this idea, I want to do this thing or to do this, but it's a long shot. And I say to them, what are you waiting for? What do you possibly want to happen? What do you think will happen? So today I want to tell you about the importance of having a sense of urgency, not only in your life and what you do in your purpose and your mission, but also if you're trying to start that business, you're trying to go after that job. Sometimes you notice people, when it comes to opportunities they may receive, they say things like, well, I'm going to get all this stuff, my ducks in a row first, and they're talking as if they have an infinite amount of time on this earth. And I'm not trying to be morbid or macabre, but let's take this a little bit further. Here's an analogy, an example I always use with people when they say things like that to me. I ask them, have you ever watched that show, Supermarket Sweep, right? There's one with all the contestants and the shopping carts, and they're running through the aisles like crazy people, and they're putting all these the cereals and all this other garbage in the bucket, in the basket, in the cart, and they're running around, and they're trying to get as much value as they possibly can, and whoever gets the most wins, I don't know, baked beans. I don't know, they win something, right? But do you notice there's a limited amount of time they have, so they can't just casually walk through the aisles. They have a limited amount of time that they have. And you also notice within the last 10 seconds, the whole studio audience is counting down. The host is counting down. The Vanna White lookalike ladies, they're counting down as well. And they're counting 10, 9, 8. We do that in everything. We do it in sports. We do that in other types of game shows. People count down. And you notice within the last 15 to 10 seconds, before they start counting down, people start going nuts and they start literally running faster. And it's just indiscriminately throwing things into their bucket, into their basket, and just trying to make sure they can get as much as possibly can before the time runs out. You know where I'm going with this, right? You know that life is the exact same thing. It's the exact same way. Here's a little difference that we need to be aware of. The only difference is there's nobody outside screaming at you, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's nobody screaming that to you. Nobody's telling you that your time is running out, but it is. Life is the exact same thing as Supermarket Sweep. And the difference is everybody's clock is different. Some people's clock is 1. Some it's 2. Some is 100 years. Some is, like Robin Williams, was 63 years. Lauren Bacall's was 89. Other people is 50. Some 30. And you know what, you get where I'm going with this, and the list goes on. Everybody's clock is different for whatever reason. You never know what it is. Some through illness, some through disease, some through self-action. Some is just through the natures of life and accidents. And that's just the way it is. But you notice that when you know your clock is running out, then you develop a sense of urgency. What you need to do is have a sense of urgency now because you never know when that clock's going to run out. Before I leave you, before I close, one last thing I'm going to add to this. The idea of a bucket list is garbage. It's a fancy way of procrastinating. It makes you feel better about yourself when you say, I have a bucket list. And people are like, oh, this guy has goals. No, bucket list is garbage. A bucket list is basically a dream killer, and it causes inaction because it's categorized as a bucket list. You start thinking, well, before I die, I have plenty of time before I die, so you do nothing. And the chances are when you get close to dying, you're not going to do those things anyway. I hate the word bucket list. I don't say I have a bucket list. I just say I just do stuff. So get up, get out, do stuff. More importantly, develop a sense of urgency because your clock is ticking in life. And before I close, I'll say this one last thing. Don't punch a clock, beat the clock. As always, chances aren't given, chances are taken, so be bold and go get it.